Hi, I'm Jennifer Hurst Wender. I'm the Director of Museum Operations for Preservation Virginia, and today I'm at the John Marshall House. And in fact, I am sitting at John Marshall's desk. And today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my very favorite stories of John Marshall's relatives. We have so many of these wonderful stories because we have this great book. It's called The Marshall Family, and it's by William Paxton. This is basically a chronicle of all the different relatives in the Marshall family tree. So we're going to be talking about Dr. Raleigh Colsten. Dr. Raleigh Colsten is a very roguish, tall, dark, and handsome man. If you were reading a Jane Austen novel, I do believe that he would be a leading character in said novel. So I'm just going to read to you from this. So, Dr. Raleigh Colsten, he graduates from medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. He spent a lot of time at this house as a kid. In Paris, he was a guest of Lafayette and the American consul. But the young physician was taken sick. In a state of delirium, instead of speaking French, he started speaking English. Someone was sought to interpret his ravings. In the same hotel, the Duchess of Almaine was boarding. She was the divorced wife of General Kellerman. He is the daughter of an Italian nobleman. She possesses beauty, accomplishments, and wealth. She was able to speak the English language and cheered the sufferer by her sympathy and attention. She removed him to her own apartment, called her servants to aid him, and by her affectionate care and generous solicitude, won the handsome and accomplished youth back to health. But in the contest, she lost her own heart. She fell deeply in love with the agreeable and talented stranger. When he prepared to return to America, her tears and entreaties held him in Paris. Her age was the only obstacle to this marriage, but love soon removed this objection, and they were married. The Duchess was sorely distressed that by reason of age she could not bear children for her beloved husband, and on one occasion, when he had been long from home, with the assistance of a physician in her confidence and pay, she palmed off upon him as her own a boy child, who was reared to manhood as a legitimate son. She bought the child. He received a great education. He was universally received and honored as a son of Dr. Colsten. And then it says, like Moses, he was nursed by his own mother, and the boy and his father believed that the poor couple who often visited the mansion regarded themselves only as foster parents of the boy. At his baptism, he was named Raleigh Colsten. In her last illness, the Duchess was conscience-stricken. And in the presence of Mr. Colsten, the imposition was confessed by all guilty parties, the parents of whom were named Boucher. They produced evidence that their son Victor was born in an almshouse in 1825. Mr. Colsten was greatly incensed and afterward would not recognize the youth as his son. But he became the distinguished General Colsten of the Confederate Army and had borne himself in a way that would have done credit to any name. Now, technically, because he's not a Marshall descendant, his story is no longer in this book, so I can't look up any more information. But on my own, I found that General Colsten returned to Richmond after being educated in West Point. He did fight in the for the Confederate Army in the Civil War, and afterwards he became one of the very first benefactors of the Museum of the Confederacy, and he's buried in Hollywood Cemetery.